Welcome to another edition of the Alpha Geek Podcast, where your host, I'm Antoine Brett.
And I'm Taras Denisenko.
And make sure you like and follow, subscribe. We are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and there's one more. Is there one more?
No, I think that's it.
Is it?
That's it. I was going to put us on Rumble,
but
I didn't get there yet.
Never even heard of that.
No, they won't strike you for you
no,
say certain keywords.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Maybe we should investigate that more. Seriously. What's the? Are you on Threads? I know you're not the biggest social media person, but
yeah, no,
you're on Threads. Threads is getting a lot of traction right now.
That's supposed to be the equivalent to Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah. But it's almost like Twitter and Instagram had a baby. It's Threads. So there's a lot of visual, like Instagram is mostly visual. Mm-hmm. And then Twitter, of course, is more like post and, verbiage.
Yeah. I get a lot of, I do get notifications via Thread, and it's usually like the most random thing. I'm just like, I don't understand how it works, but.
Yeah, they're really good at capturing your attention. It'll be like a story that you really want to read, and then you click on it, and it's like, oh, you got to sign up for Threads. Shit. Well, not reading this today. Yeah. So, but check us out.
Yeah.
Today is this is the first podcast of 2025. Correct?
This is the second.
This is the second podcast 2025. We did a review. We were out of the studio. We were back in the studio. We did a review of 2024. Today is going to be a hype rankings, most anticipated TVs and shows of 2025.
Yes.
So if you have something that you would like to watch or something that we don't mention and you figure we should or thought we should, please comment below, because there's so much content. There's so much.
There's so much.
Man, it was hard. I texted Taras the other night and I was like, hey, you want to do a top 5 or a top 10 or, so we kind of settled on top 5 because this will be a 3-hour show easily with everything that's coming out and why we picked these things. So we narrowed it down to top 5. I have a couple honorable mentions, of course. So, but yeah, it's again, there's just so much content from everywhere. And something about, I didn't say this in the text, but something about, I thought Taras might add some gaming stuff in. Did you?
I didn't.
Okay,
no.
Man. I was like, all right, Taras is going to add something gaming in. Yeah. You did last year.
I did. And I was so overwhelmed with everything coming out in 2025 that I only stuck with movies.
Only movies.
Only movies, yeah.
Okay.
Because if you're right, it's like if we were to try to cover everything, it would be a 3-hour show. But
yeah. All right, so we're going to start. We're going to work our way from 5 to 1, and I think age before beauty. So we're going to let Taras go first.
What? That's not fair. That's not fair.
My man got a whole printout sheet.
I did. I got like all this.
I'm ill prepared over here.
And that's why I was like, I couldn't just pick 5. I'm like, oh my God, there's like, and it only goes to 50 movies coming out. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So
right.
I went through them, and like you, there's going to be some honorable mentions. Wait, where's my order? Starting with number 5.
So you want to do it like this? You want to do 5 through 2, then mention our honorable mentions, and then do our number 1s?
Let's do it.
That's cool. All right, let's get it.
All right, starting with my number 5 movie coming out in 2025 is the Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you feel about that one?
I can't wait. The cast.
Yep.
Cast looks amazing.
Yep.
So why'd you pick it for number 5?
I just like that it's kind of an origin story again that's set in I believe in the 60s.
Yeah.
60s. So that whole idea of the production and the feel of it, and of course I'm always excited about the story. And Pedro Pascal is always coming out with some good stuff. So
yeah. I mean, the cast looks amazing. They and this is something that's been in the works for a long time, and I actually appreciate that it has taken so long, because it's given a lot of other things in the MCU time to develop.
Yeah.
After the whole Deadpool Wolverine kind of reboot that we got, or the reboot of the MCU, or that multiverse thing kind of settling down, I feel, and with the return of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans coming back, then it could really set up some really cool stuff going into the next phase of Marvel, leading up to Secret Wars and stuff like that. So.
And it's fair to say that Marvel, up until this point, hopefully this will flip the whole Marvel disaster.
Yeah. Well, I mean, essentially, I feel like Deadpool Wolverine has done that.
Yeah.
You know, I can definitely, and please in the comments, let me know if you agree with me or not. But I feel like we are on the upswing.
Yeah.
As far as how Marvel fans and the collective feel about the direction of Marvel right now.
Yeah.
So.
What other than Deadpool and Wolverine has been out that's keeping that momentum going? I don't feel like anything. I almost want to say Deadpool and Wolverine or Deadpool together as a standalone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's the potential. Other than Deadpool, Wolverine, we really haven't had a lot of projects that really like wow us. But off of Deadpool, Wolverine, we have so much coming out, like we're talking about right now in 2025, that the potential is so high, you know, and I think we still have we look at Marvel through those rose-colored glasses right now. Like when you look at Sony Marvel stuff, you hear something coming out, you're like, oh shit, here you go. What kind of shit show is this going to be?
Yeah.
But I think we're still pretty optimistic about how the MCU projects and how we feel about those.
Yeah.
So when we hear about them.
I'm sure Captain America is going to be on your list somewhere. And back in my head, I just hear about those rewrites and I'm like, oh, I don't know. But
all right. Well, my number 5 is Thunderbolts.
Yes.
Thunderbolts. I am super excited about Thunderbolts. I mean, Florence Pugh, anything she's in, I'm excited about it. And I know this is not the Thunderbolts team that, you know, we traditionally get in the comics, but I feel like with what we're going to get with, you know, Arbor coming in and reprising his role, and of course, again, Florence Pugh and Sebastian Stan. I mean, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a great movie. I don't know if this is going to lead into a Dark Avengers thing, or you continue to do kind of like the Suicide Squad, just, you know, maybe do different iterations of a team every time you do a sequel movie type thing. Who knows? Yeah. But the Thunderbolts, I like just looking at previews and trailers and stuff. I mean, I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, and that's your number 5.
That's my number 5.
Okay. Yep. Because that Thunderbolts is my number 4.
Yeah, Thunderbolts.
That is my number 4. And I will say I'm excited about it just because of seeing the previews, but at the same time, a little apprehensive about it.
Yeah.
The previews, although I enjoyed them, they didn't really give a lot of solid ground to be like, this is going to be amazing. I feel like it's going to be more entertaining than like saga-ish.
Yeah. So yeah. I think with this type of movie, with the Suicide Squad of it all, I think that type of movie, like that format, that mass team up thing. Yep. I think a lot of people have a little bit bitter taste in their mouth after that. So now that we know we're going to get something like that again, some people are kind of, like you said, they're kind of just short arms with it. They got the T-Rex arms about grabbing it. They don't want to grab it quite yet, but I think it's going to be a great movie. My number 4 is Invincible season 3.
Okay.
Invincible is my top 3 animated properties on streaming across the board. I love how they've stuck so close to the IP, and like they're just taking it right from the pages. Of course, there's some changes you got to have to adapt it to television, but for the most part, they're taking it right from the pages, and I love what they're doing. I'm glad that we're getting it so soon, because between season 1 and season 2, we had a very long time, and then the mid-season of season 2, it took forever. So I'm glad whatever processes they have in place to help them, pump these projects out a little bit faster is working for them, because Invincible is probably like I said, it's my top 3, and I can arguably say my number 1 favorite animated show.
Wow. Okay. So. And there hasn't been any change in like writers or anything.
No change in writers. To my knowledge, no change in writers. Of course, when you look at it on IMDb, everything is the same now. Yeah. That could, change here and there, depending. So.
And I think overall, just like this top 5 list can change inevitably over time.
Sure.
Like so.
Yeah, I think as some of these projects, I think some of this is like recency bias too, because we get Thunderbolts really quickly, and we get Invincible in February or March, something like that. So that's coming pretty quickly. So of course we're going to be more excited about the stuff that we know is gonna, is coming sooner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. My number 3, sticking with the movie theme, is actually Superman.
Superman, yes.
Superman. Although
number 3.
in my head, I was like, this could be number 1. But then after seeing the trailer, I was like, I don't think it's going to be my number 1, especially after seeing this whole list of all the upcoming projects. And this resource is from IMDb. It's a great site, man. They're like, they got all sorts of great stuff in there.
I just go and geek out on IMDb sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about Bryce Dallas Howard last week.
Oh, yeah.
I just went on IMDb and just all the stuff that she's in. It's like, man, went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. So. And Antoine did disclose that he will not be getting Disney Plus because it's only 1 episode that she did, right?
Yeah, no, I'm still salty about Disney Plus.
But yeah, Superman. I just I don't know. I'm hopeful. And of course I'm going to watch all of these and be excited about them all. But I kind of got a little flipped on the suit thing, his trunks, and the scene of the dog of Crypto pulling him away. I was like, oh, that's so stupid. But then I saw the comic book scenes from it. I was like, I'm right back on there,
dude. So like that dog is getting so much shit right now, and dude, like everyone's talking about that doesn't look like Crypto, because Crypto in the book, everyone assumes he's a what's that breed of dog? Big white fluffy.
Yeah.
Dog.
Siberian or no?
No, it's man, my son has one. Oh my God. Anyway. And everyone assumes from the comic books that it's gonna be that. So Crypto's getting a lot of shit right now. Like he's not gonna be a jack dog.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But it was kind of an odd, especially coming off of Henry Cavill Superman to that, it just made it kind of cartoonish and silly. And I think for me initially my reaction was like, this is gonna be stupid.
Yeah.
But then, just getting into the whole, it's a different take on it. It's a different story. It's fresh. It's new. So we'll see.
James Gunn, man. Yeah. No, that was actually, I was enjoying the trailer, and when that happened, and when Crypto came on, on the set, on the screen, I was like, take my money. Take my money.
Oh, you were for it.
Yeah, I was ready for it.
Right.
I was like, that's awesome, because, just to be able to do, because like you said, it is kind of cartoonish, and, and if they stick the landing, though, it's going to be like the coolest thing ever. And which James Gunn has kind of made a career at doing this, taking like something that we on the outside looking in or on paper looks pretty juvenile and pretty dumb, and just making it really cool, man.
Yeah.
Like Polka Dot Man from Suicide Squad. I mean, he made like a dude that basically throws up polka dots, kind of seemed kind of cool, and made you care about this guy,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
My number 3, Captain America.
The
world.
There it is.
Yeah. So I had to put it on there.
Yeah, of course.
My boy Anthony Mackie, and of course, having a black Captain America is always cool as shit.
Yeah.
It's going with going back and forth over what the fans expect in comparison to what the fans actually know. Like the fans know that this is precedence. There is a black Captain America. He took the shield and he became blah blah blah. And when we hear all the stuff on social media about why is this happening and blah blah blah, you just know it's coming from people who don't read comic books,
right? Right.
So, but at the end of the day, I don't care who the leading man is. It has to be a good movie.
Right.
And so with the addition of Harrison Ford, and, you got that, and you have the Red Hulk thing, and what does this build up to? So I again, kind of building off of that uptick that we have in the MCU now, I hope it, because Thunderbolts comes out shortly after that. So.
Okay. Do you think Harrison Ford is going to be a good addition or a good part in that movie, or is it just going to be Harrison Ford being Harrison Ford and just fall flat?
Well, Harrison Ford is, I feel like he delivers.
Yeah.
And based on the trailer, I feel like he really took the role seriously.
Okay.
You know, like trying to rebuild this Avengers team, and I'm convinced.
Yeah.
And this is in the trailer, of course, but I'm convinced that all right, this is, you know, President Ross, right?
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
A while ago now, we were talking about knowing too much about some of the actors, and sometimes when you see interviews with the actors like Harrison Ford talk about some of his roles, he kind of just, I don't know, sometimes he rubs me the wrong way, and I'm just like, just don't do that, because now I'm like Indiana Jones, like the last movie of Indiana Jones, I just like so disappointed with it, and he's just a money grab for him. So I'm starting to think that that's where he's at. So,
yeah, maybe. I mean, when you get old and shit, you stop giving a fuck about, you know, doing these things. I can see how an actor at that age can get jaded, you know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But Clint Eastwood's still putting out really good stuff.
Is he putting out really good stuff?
Or
is he putting out stuff?
He's just. I think Clint Eastwood's writing. I think he writes good scripts. And he just came out with a movie. We haven't watched it. It's on our watch list. I'll have to look it up, but it seemed really good. It's on Netflix. But anyway, but Anthony Mackie, I saw him in some old movie, some kung fu, where there's the little Asian kid kicking everybody's butt, and Anthony Mackie was like in his teenage years, and he was like a bully. I was like, dang, that's cool.
Yeah, Mackie's been around for a long time.
For a long time.
He was in what's the Denzel Washington movie, the Manchurian Candidate. Okay, yeah, he was in that. So he's been around for a minute, so to see him get some shine is cool.
Yeah,
and kind of going back to the Harrison Ford thing, they asked him a question when he first got cast as General Ross or President Ross, and you know, they asked about the Red Hawk. He was like, "What's a Red Hawk? I don't even know what are you talking about?" And based on what you just said, the way that Harrison Ford kind of approaches some of these projects, people were like, well, I guess he doesn't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. But Red Hawk is in the movie, obviously. Yeah. So at least he took it seriously enough to say, okay, this is how the MCU does things. We don't, you know, we want to keep it really secret or as much as we can until it's time for the fans to know.
Yeah.
And once D23 came out, or I think they did the trailer at Hall H last year at Comic-Con, once that came out, and you know, everyone knew about it. Like until they start making people like put away their phones or not bring phones in, you're gonna get this footage. This footage is gonna leak online. So, it's whatever. All right. So what are we up to? You're at
We're moving at number 2.
You're number 2.
Number 2. Yes. Karate Kid Legends.
Karate Kid. Yeah.
Karate Kid.
I was so surprised when I saw the trailer for this movie.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised that I liked it so much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I dug it.
So what was and I have not seen as of today. I've not seen the trailer yet.
Okay.
But what was your idea it was going to look like until what you saw it?
So what really got me was the fight choreography. You know, I'm a huge fan of fight choreography, like street level fight choreography. And between that and the wild work that they did in this, I mean, it looks phenomenal. And the last Karate Kid we got with Jaden Smith, I mean, because this kid is maybe a couple years older than what Jaden Smith was in that movie.
Right.
I mean, it's like, it makes that shit look like Romper Room, man. This is so good. And you know, to bring Ralph Macchio back for it, you know, it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, and that I thought was interesting. Ralph Macchio, Jackie Chan. But what do you think that, like, why isn't Jaden back in it, but Will Smith is directing it? So is there like, I'm like curious, like what happened there?
So is Will Smith directing it, or is he an executive producer on it?
Oh, good question.
I think he might be executive producer on it.
Oh, okay.
But still, same. I mean, as far as having your kid in the movie, I don't know. Maybe Jaden Smith he's kind of weird.
He kind of went the weird way.
Put that on the table.
Yeah.
But you know, that's acting though. You know, as an actor, you wear the skin of someone else. So it doesn't matter how weird he is. But I don't have the answer to that question, and we don't know if he's not in the movie. You know, he might not be the star protagonist, but
Yeah.
you know, he might be in the movie somewhere.
I didn't see the credits for him. I mean, he could be, but just the initial headlined credits. I didn't see his name on there, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
But that's my number 2.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. My number 2, Superman Legacy. For a lot of the reasons Taras already talked about, but I'm excited for DC or the DCU moving forward under James Gunn.
Okay.
I enjoy all James Gunn's movies. They're not all my favorite movies. I love all the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, but when you take a James Gunn movie, and then you match it up with someone like a Taika or something like that, and they're like the Thor, Love and Thunder, those movies,
Yeah.
you see how good James Gunn really is.
Yeah.
Because again, he makes you care about, and I'm going back to Suicide Squad again, but because I remember the Polka Dot Man and how he saw his mom's face on everyone, and again, making you care about these people, and like these are assassins, people killing people like just off, for no good reason, and to make you, feel some sort of way about those people. I think is a real talent, and it's something that he's, everything he puts out is like gold, man. Creature Commandos is money. So, I'm stoked about that. Superman Legacy. It was very close to being my number 1.
Yeah.
Very close.
Did you watch the Guardians Christmas special?
I did.
That was good.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. I think it's going to turn into one of those Christmas staple movies, especially for people like us, the comic fans. I mean, you have the Christmas Story, you have Elf, you have, movies like that. Just Friends.
Yep.
Love that movie. I think this is going to be one of those movies that you can kind of throw on in the background and have it playing while you're wrapping presents, and people are going to enjoy it.
Totally. I don't know if we talked about it last time, but speaking of Elf, did you hear, did we talk about the controversy about Elf with Jon Favreau and Will Ferrell?
We didn't talk about it on air, but we talked about it.
Yeah. If you all have heard, I'd be interested in the comments. Have you heard about the dynamics between Jon Favreau and Will Smith, where Will Smith did not believe in Jon Favreau's vision of
Will
Elf?
Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
Okay.
Ferrell did not believe in Jon Favreau's vision of it being funny. He was just like, this seems really dumb and stupid, and but yeah, so he was I don't remember the character's name, but the manager of the store.
Oh, the heavyset black dude with the ball. What's his name? Man, he's a popular comedian, or was anyway. Yeah.
So he was being interviewed, and he's the one that kind of told the interviewer about the whole dynamic, and that even to this day, where that big dude was with Jon Favreau and Will Smith walked in the room, and that big dude was just like, Jon Favreau was just like, what do I say? What do I do? He's just like, well, it doesn't matter. The movie was a success. But at the same time, some people hate Elf. They don't think it's a good Christmas movie.
Some people hate Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of those people. Like, I love Will Ferrell. I think he's hilarious. Like, but I'm immature.
Yeah.
And that type of comedy is funny to me, you know.
But is that a case of like where the comedian is so successful that he believes that his vision, because he's so good at what he does, he's like, if I don't think it's funny, it's not going to be funny to the rest because I have this level of success. But Jon Favreau is successful. I mean, there's nothing that he's done that I feel like has not been successful.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And Will Ferrell's not always funny.
Yeah, I agree. But that's anybody who takes, their craft so seriously. Like, even if, what if I came into the studio and was like, man, I really feel like you should be doing the, merengue this way. Your hips are all off. You're like, get the fuck out of here. But it's something like that. When you put so much time and effort into something, you just feel like you're the authority on it.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
And then two alphas, two bulls, kind of going at it. I can kind of get. These are two guys that are at the top of their practice and their profession. So, from directing and producing standpoint with Favreau, and then from an acting comedic standpoint with Ferrell. So I can see how there'll be some bumping up the heads.
Oh, for sure. So is it pronounced Favreau or Favreau?
Jon Favreau. Yeah. That's how we all pronounce it.
That's how we, But I've heard some people, like, I don't know if he got offended by it, but somebody said, I can't remember, some YouTuber was like, it's Favreau. I don't know if it's WDW Pro or, what's his name? The Star Wars guy. Mike Zero. It might be. Anyway.
Yeah, bro, I don't know.
All right, so that was your
Number two. All right, so we're going to a couple honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions.
However many you got.
My honorable mention was Captain America.
That was it? That was
Yeah.
an honorable mention? He's like, I'm going to fucking hate this movie. He's like, I'm going to watch this shit just for the sake of saying I saw it.
Yeah. No, it's like I
We're going
feel
to watch
like,
the matinee. We're not.
and I'm gonna have a beer while I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so, dude. They can put fucking throw shit on the screen. And I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna be so hammered at this damn movie.
Oh man, it's again the internet thing. It's like I've heard too many people talk about too much being like, why? How is it that just a regular guy can hold the shield and then you see the picture of the Red Hulk smashing down on it? Like he should be getting crushed, and I'm just like. I should stop listening to stuff and just
Comic books. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you have to know like the characteristics of vibranium too, because it absorbs all like pressure and energy and stuff like that. So, from a comic standpoint, you should be able to hit it with just about anything, and you will feel like the pressure from it, but not the direct impact from it. So.
But the Red Hulk, that would be still a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely throw you some places.
Yeah,
big motherfucker.
But it's like oh my god, the Arrow guy, Jesus.
Like Green Arrow?
Not Green Arrow.
The other one. Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Yeah,
it's like Hawkeye. You're just a dude that can like throw arrows, and you're flying, and jumping through the air, and like, how does he not get like, oh, if I don't catch this thing, I'm gonna hit the ground. I'm dead. Like,
yeah, we just gotta make sure you catch that shit. But I'm telling you, like Hawkeye is really depowered in the movies. Like Hawkeye is the shit in the comic books, dude.
Oh, really?
Like, he can rip his fingernail off and throw it at you and kill you. Like, yeah, he's like that.
Okay.
You remember the old Ben Affleck Daredevil?
Yeah.
When he like takes the paperclip or takes the peanut and flicks it and chokes the lady out, like shit like that. Yeah, Hawkeye. They sleep on Hawkeye, man.
Yeah. All right, honorable mention.
Honorable mention. So I got a couple of them. I got a few of them actually. Daredevil Born Again.
Okay.
I will be getting Disney Plus back to watch Daredevil. I'm gonna wait for that to come out. So which is pretty soon. So
yeah.
I love the Netflix show. I love the fact that Jon Bernthal is coming back to reprise his role as Punisher. I just hope they don't throttle back with the blood and gore too much. I know you're gonna have to do it a little bit,
yeah.
But I just hope it's not like the other side of the coin difference from what we became used to with the Netflix shows.
I'll jump in there real quick. So another honorable mention that I had was just Ballerina.
Oh yeah.
That's one I'm definitely gonna go see.
Yeah, I'm like Ana de Armas. Love her, but the fact that Keanu Reeves is reprising his role in it is going to be cool.
Yeah,
the whole growth of that universe.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four: First Steps is another honorable mention of mine. Of course, we already talked about why, but yeah, stoked about that.
And I will say one more for me is Avatar.
Avatar, yes, man.
I just love that epic saga. I feel like the last installment was really good, really good. Yeah. I'm man, it's hard for me to get excited with movies that take so long to get the next one. Yeah,
and I kind of get why, because it takes a very long time to shoot and then edit and like I get it, but man, it just takes a long time. It's like because are we even getting that in 2025?
It says its release date is 2025.
Okay,
it does. Yeah.
All right,
but. Like when it comes to those movies, though, for me, it's like that cinematic experience. It's not so much about the story, the writing, or anything like that. It's just the cinematography and however they use their special effects. And so
now, when you go to movies like that, do you go make it a point to do like IMAX 3D?
Yes, yeah, for sure, for sure.
My final honorable mention is Peacemaker season 2.
Oh my god,
yeah. Oh, John Cena. I mean, that show was so good last time. That was like the sleeper, like that was the blue chipper right there, and people didn't know what to expect, especially with John Cena being his first starring role and carrying the show, and like just the opening dancing and shit. Like it was so good, man. Yeah. So
my brother-in-law, I was talking to him the other day, and he Wendy's brother couldn't be any more opposite. They couldn't be any more opposite. So he's all into like the Peacemaker, and he was like, dude, you've just got to get into the Peacemaker. He's like, I'm just like, well, there's only so many shows that we can get into, and I was like, well, Wendy watch it? And he's like, no, definitely not.
It's great, man. It's like John Cena does like just having an actor or a character who's like okay, like cracking a few eggs, you know, it's really cool because we come from a era where, like Batman, we don't kill, and Superman, like the Boy Scout and stuff like that. So to see, like, especially as a reflection of the world that we live in now, sometimes you got to show motherfuckers. He's like that guy, So yeah, I'm super excited about Peacemaker.
Just real quick on John Cena. Have you seen the movie where he plays like a bodyguard, and when oh my God, I wish I could remember her name. She's an Asian comedian. She was in Shang-Chi.
Awkwafina.
Awkwafina.
Yeah, it was on Amazon Prime, and yeah, he plays her bodyguard, and she wins like a lottery type thing.
Yeah,
and but in this like kind of future world that they're in, if you kill the lottery winner before midnight or before 8 o'clock or something like that, you get their winnings. So it was a really good movie.
It was a great movie. I enjoyed it. And his portrayal of that character, I mean, I don't know how his acting is in Peacemaker, because just from the Suicide Squad, I was like, it's kind of corny or whatever. Yeah. But he played a really good, like, why he was the way he was and the way that unfolded. I was like, oh, yeah, you go, John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena's a good actor. I would venture to say that from just a character actor standpoint, that he's better than, when we talk about wrestlers who have converted over to Hollywood, he's better than The Rock for sure. Yeah. The Rock is just kind of
The Rock.
He's the same guy. He's like, you son of a bitch. He's the same. Like his final boss persona in WWE is the same as Hobbs in Fast and Furious. Yeah. Like the same guy.
What about his role in Tooth Fairy?
that was like one of those things, like checking the box. Yeah, you had to do that. Like if you want to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger later, you gonna have to do this bullshit right now. You know, because even Arnold Schwarzenegger did what was the one where he was the last superhero, the last action hero.
Last action hero.
Yeah. He did stuff that was more like for like kids and and then Stallone did. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Remember that one?
Yeah. Did you? But I feel like there's a backstory behind that, because that was where Arnold Schwarzenegger was punking Sylvester Stallone, where Sylvester did not want to take that movie, but then Arnold was like, let it be known that I'm thinking about taking it, so he took it. Oh, because really? they was always in battle with one another. Really? Their story is awesome. Yeah. But side note, I loved Last Action Hero.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
So good.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
If that's ever on, I'm always going to sit down and watch it.
Yeah. It's on, I mean, you probably see that show on TBS every year now.
Yeah.
That's one I think I saw it on TBS last year, actually. Number one.
My number one is Tron Ares.
Oh, dude. Man. He came with the Tron.
Heck yeah, dude.
Oh, man.
Like, I cannot wait. I love everything Tron, from the first one, the second one, and now this one. And being that Daft Punk did the soundtrack. Now, this whole trilogy for me is not only just about like the childhood of the very first installment, but the soundtrack, and being kind of a computer nerd myself, and like building PCs, and just the concept of it is just so attractive for me. The second one, the soundtrack by Daft Punk, man, blew my mind, and how they just created that story. And this third one, the soundtrack's going to be done by Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor. Oh, wow. I'm like, really? I am so about that experience. And after going to Disney World and riding the Tron ride, dude,
Tron is
I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker.
See, I didn't like the second one. This one that just came out, or a few years ago that we got. Yeah.
Why?
What's the lead actor's name? The real good looking guy.
The one that played. Man.
Why am I forgetting his name? I mean, I feel like he does a great job, but he is the same guy in every movie.
Okay.
I feel like. He's a good actor. I guess I'm kind of shitting on him a little bit. And look, I'm wearing a shirt that says, happy. Gotta be nice.
Remember your New Year's
I know,
resolution.
be kind to people.
Be kind.
Yeah, I feel like he's just the same guy.
Garrett Hedlund
No,
or Jeff Bridges?
no, oh no, that's the one that came out, the Tron Legacy that came out. Isn't I guess it's not important.
Well, let me see if I can pull it
He
up
was
here.
Barbie. He was Ken and Barbie.
Oh, he wasn't in Legacy?
He wasn't in Legacy? I thought he was.
No.
Huh.
No, that's yeah, so we got the cast right.
Oh.
Let's see. Oh.
Oh, we're about to get on some of that modern technology right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
So we got
Garrett Hedlund.
Olivia Wilde. She played a super cool role. Yeah, so Garrett Hedlund, he was the main character right there. And of course Jeff Bridges and
Go down. Go back to the left. Who is that? Serinda Swan.
oh, Serinda Swan. I think she played
Sheesh.
she was in that white suit where when he was getting Tronized, when he was getting in his digital suit with his disc, they all came in on.
Maybe I need to go back and revisit this movie.
Dude,
Maybe I'm
it's
getting it confused with something else.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. It's so good. I mean, yeah. But going to this next Aries, now the only thing I'm concerned about is Jared Leto. He's like the main, and
is he the villain?
he's
the main antagonist?
I think he's the main antagonist.
Yeah, okay.
And it's just after what was the vampire one that he played in?
Oh,
God,
Morbius.
So Morbius. Oh God. And even though
never gonna live that shit down.
And even though I think I've come to like his interpretation of Joker, when he was Joker, I was like, dude, this is terrible.
Yeah, he was bad. With the exception, and this has had nothing to do with him, but the nightmare scene from the Justice League, the Snyder cut.
Yes.
Yeah. Other than that, but I think that was such like fan service though. It was like hard for you not to like that scene.
Yeah.
So.
And I know Jared Leto, like he's a super talented guy, but I think sometimes when those actors get too, he's not a, oh man, Christian Bale. Like Christian Bale could be that in depth. What do they call it when they really just get into it?
Method actor.
Method actor, yeah. And I feel like Jared Leto, as talented as he is, he's a great singer, great performer, great. At 30 Seconds to Mars, I would love to go see. Like 30 Seconds to Mars would be a great show to see at the Sphere, by the way.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Dude, I just want to hear the kill. I'll be cool. Yeah, that'll be it.
So as you can probably hear in my voice, I'm very excited about Tron.
Yeah, Tron is the shit. Yeah, all right. Tron is his number one.
That's my number one.
My number one. Long time in the making. Glad they're gonna do it, and I heard they're gonna expand on this universe even more. 28 years later. Yes. I mean, zombie shit, and a lot of people say that we kind of got burned out on the whole zombie thing for a little bit, but that trailer, it got me 100%. Like, and those 28 days, 28 weeks, all those movies are so well done, and the world it has like this old school like 70s style way that they shoot it, and it's like super immersive, and it makes you kind of feel like you're in trouble, like some zombies gonna get your ass too. It's very cool. I'm super excited about 28 years later.
Yep. Do you like the like those shows, the movies, God, where you have to be super quiet?
All movies.
Just all movies. You like all movies.
Everyone.
I like everybody to be quiet in my movies. The ones if you make a noise, the monsters come and kill you. Oh my God, what's it?
Quiet Place.
Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Because they're like on their third installment of that, right? It's like
The Quiet Place, yeah.
So are you a fan of those?
I'm not I only saw parts of the first one.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things I just never got into. It's like, I'm not a big fan of like the monster.
Okay.
What was it? Bird Box.
Yeah.
Wasn't a big fan of that. We watched one last night with Anthony Mackie called Elevation, which was not great. The lead actress from Deadpool, she was in it as well. And it was kind of like one of those movies where you like check a box. All right, we got one more movie obligation to the studio.
Yeah.
So it was kind of one of those things. It was all right.
Yeah. We just started watching on Prime World of Worlds, and we just finished the first season. It's like a European movie. And now that we've kind of wrapped up our top 5, I'm gonna go on a tangent and just tell you what I get annoyed with.
Okay, let's do it. I got a couple of those too.
I find it so annoying when, and it's probably more European movies, when the actors are holding a gun and have no idea how to use it.
Oh yeah.
They're just like hip firing and like spreading ammunition everywhere. And like, maybe it's just being an American. I'm just like, man, you're going to just hurt yourself before you do anything. Yeah. Although the show is good, I was just like, what is happening?
Is it an older show? Because I feel like that as a whole, Hollywood has become more savvy about like gunplay and how it looks on screen and things like that.
Yeah, no, this came out in 2022, but I think it's done by a French company. Okay. I just think, I feel like American movies or American people are going to be more like sensitive to that. Being like, all right, if we're going to do an action scene, we should probably have some dude that can actually teach these people. I mean, these guys are military suits, and they're like, how they're carrying their firearms is like the most... not how a military person would, unless that's how unless that's the French military.
We don't want to. Nope. I'm not jumping on that one. But yeah,
if you're in the French military, let us know.
But we've been really spoiled by a lot of movies where these actors really they go Keanu Reeves, for example. He really does the work to make sure that on screen it looks as authentic as possible. Yeah. And we've had all the Black Hawk Downs and the all the military base movies where we see this all the time. So even if you don't know and never handled a gun, you know the difference between what it should kind of look like and what it that looks like bullshit.
Yeah. The show is good, but there's a lot of bullshit.
Yeah. Kind of my tangent, just to touch on some of the WWE stuff. So we're not going to spend too much time on it, but WWE had their first Netflix show.
Yes.
This past Monday, they had their Monday Night Raw show for the first time on Netflix, and it went off without a hitch. A lot of people were really anxious about the past buffering issues that Netflix has had on live events. They had major issues with the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. They had a couple issues with the Christmas football NFL that they had on Christmas Day, but it went off. It was great. It was a couple 5 or 6 second buffers here and there, but for the most part, it was great. What I really want to touch on though is how the fans booed the shit out of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, it was rough. So Hulk Hogan has, I guess he's affiliated or part owner or owns this beer company. I think it's called American Beer.
Oh.
They had it on the ring. So, and I didn't even know it was Hulk Hogan's company until he comes out. This dude comes back. He comes out and, he starts to do his whole thing. Let me tell you something, brother. He starts to do that.
Yeah.
And the roof comes off of this arena, dude. They are booing this man.
Oh, dang.
And Netflix, they cut the footage. So if you go into the archives and try to see this portion of it, you can't even see it. But they every time he opened his mouth, the boos got louder and louder and louder. And they do this for a couple of the superstars because that's their heels. So Dominic Mysterio, for example, every time he picks up a mic, the crowd just starts booing, doesn't let him get a word out. Also New Day now, they're doing that to New Day. But that's the storyline. They are heels, and this is kind of the fan interaction that we've come to love with the WWE. But this was just pure hatred, dude.
Wow.
Pure hatred. And I want to know whose idea was it? I mean, is it pretty common knowledge that Hulk Hogan is super right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know that.
Yeah.
And in the past, there has been some allegations about him being racist. He has some racist. We've heard him on audio with racist slurs, right? But they say time heals some wounds, so people kind of forget about it. Yeah. And he was able to do some stuff on TV after all that stuff happened, and but whose idea was it to have Hulk Hogan come out in this political climate in the most liberal state in the United States?
Where
LA. They were in LA.
LA. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude,
Wow.
they booed from the time he walked out to the time he left. He was out there for maybe 30 seconds. He was starting to do his whole, like, let me tell you something, great American beer, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And every time he spoke, the boos got louder, and he was out there 30 seconds. He literally got booed out of the building.
Dang.
So
I gotta say, I never knew any of that stuff about Hulk Hogan. Like for me, it's always just been, I never knew any of that. Outside of him speaking at the rally, I was just like, oh, okay.
oh man, dude, a lot of people hate Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
He was like one of those people that just kind of used his power in wrestling and in the industry to kind of like write his own ticket. I mean, he prevented a lot of people from getting to the next level. I remember like Macho Man was like, me and Hulk Hogan, we're going to fight. This is going to be the first fight in professional wrestling. He was like really wanted to beat the shit out of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
So like, you know, and these are guys that you got to like sweat. You got to trust that this guy's going to take care of you in the ring. You know, all the bumps they take, and you know, you got to trust the guy. And if you don't have that, then there's no story. And the fans see it. They can see it in a match when both the guys aren't on the same page, or wrestlers aren't on the same page. So.
And was Hulk, did he not take care of people? Like, did he mess with Macho Man? Or?
There was some
I
time,
heard you said Ultimate Warrior did that.
Yeah, Warrior has been accused of it. Bill Goldberg, another one that was accused of it. And I don't know if it was malicious or it was just a lack of experience, because Bill Goldberg, you know, his ascension was pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know, and while he was an athletic guy, you know, professional wrestling is very technique driven. Yeah. Everything has to be done correctly. Yeah. And he had his match with Bret Hart, and Bret Hart, you know, honestly, he comes out and said, like, he shortened my career because he, you know, gave me like a concussion when it wasn't necessary, kicked him in the face or something like that. And there were some other moves during that match that, you know, he was, you know, Goldberg misperformed. And so
there's a movie it has about three brothers that were into wrestling.
Iron Claw. Yeah.
What is that about?
It's about the Von Erichs, the brothers. They were really big in the 70s and 80s.
Okay, so it's,
their dad was a big time wrestler. He owned the territory.
Yeah.
I actually think Vince McMahon bought his territory. And I want to say was it Terry Von Erich? He ended up wrestling in the WWE, and he had no foot.
Oh, shoot.
He was in a motorcycle accident. And a lot of people don't even know that he had like a fake foot, and he would strap his boot on over it, and he would perform. And a lot of people, I mean, he was good. Yeah. You know, and all these guys, he was jacked. I mean, he was like the steroid guy before steroids were a thing. Yeah. You know, he was like yoked. So
because when we were watching the preview for it, we were gonna watch that movie. We had three movies we were going back and forth from, and we actually settled on I just forgot the name of it, something Lake. But anyway, we were watching. I was like, man, that must predate WWF stuff.
Yeah.
Because I just don't remember ever hearing about it growing up.
Yeah. They that was around the time where Vince Sr. was running the WWF at the time, and it was everybody still had their own territories. So like and you didn't encroach. You know, if you don't go to this, if this territory is like South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, you don't go in this territory because this is his territory. And people respected that until Vince Jr. came along. And Vince Jr. came and bought the WWF from his dad, and he didn't have the money. So he said, hey, give me, I think it was 2 or 3 years, or one of the three said, if I don't pay you back, you keep what I've given you so far, and you keep the company. And he paid them all back, grew the company, and made it into really what it is today.
Okay, that's cool.
And then, you know, the Von Erichs were always trying to, you know, become champions and make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
And, you know, so.
Have you seen that movie?
I have. Yeah. Really good movie. Good. Really good movie. It was 4 brothers, all but one died.
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know if that was the premise of the movie, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, we ended up watching.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, we ended up watching a movie called Cattle Lake. I don't know if you saw that on Netflix, dude. It's so good. It's
Cattle Lake?
Cattle Lake. It's
Okay.
called CADDO Lake. It is.
Okay.
I won't say any spoilers on it, but it is a very smart, very well done movie, and I highly, highly recommend it.
Might go watch it tonight. What's the premise?
It's kind of a sci-fi / thriller. It's produced by M. Night Shyamalan. So if you can just imagine,
And straight to Netflix?
straight to Netflix. Yeah,
Huh.
it's written and directed by two people I've never heard of, but if it's an M. Night movie, so it's gonna have that kind of to it. So
Okay.
I can't I don't want to say anything more.
All right. And now we'll watch it tonight.
Yeah,
Cattle Lake.
Yeah, Cattle Lake. It's so good.
All right.
So good.
All right. Cool, man.
Cool.
Well, that's our top 5 hype rankings for 2025. If you have any hype rankings, something that we missed and you're super excited about the project, mention it in the comments.
Yes.
Let us know, and we'll watch it. We watch everything, so we'll put it on unless it's on Disney Plus, because I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
Also, remember to like, subscribe, follow the channel, help us grow. It's a small click for you, but it's a big click for us, and we truly appreciate it.
Yeah. And before we close out, we do want to say that our hearts and prayers go out to all those who are affected by the fires out in LA.
Absolutely.
It is very scary and dangerous out there. So please stay safe. And yeah.
Yeah. And on behalf of my homeboy Taras and myself, we thank you for listening. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Peace.
Peace.